You guys ready to start?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
We will call to order the special called meeting for the Signal Mountain Town Council for Monday, August 22nd, 2022. We'll have a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll have a moment of silence now. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Elizabeth Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Vicki Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Andrew Gardner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Susanna Murdock.
Here.
Mayor Charles Foss.
Here. We do not have any minutes to approve for this special called meeting. We have a citizen's opportunity to address council. Is there anyone who'd like to address council? All right. So let's get right to it. Resolution number 1, a resolution to rescind resolution number 2022-66, which was authorized with incorrect supplier information. Do we have a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Sounds like we've got it fixed, but just need to correct this problem. Any discussion needed? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Next is a resolution authorizing the town manager to purchase one John Deere cab tractor with a Tiger Boom mower from AG Pro, Maryville, Tennessee, state contract number 66032 for an amount not to exceed $169,495.43 to be used by the Public Works Department for the town of Signal Mountain.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay. Any discussion needed? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. And the third resolution is a resolution authorizing the town manager to enter into agreement for water leak bill relief service with Water Leak Relief LLC, 231 East 1st Street, Suite 102, Crossville, Tennessee, 38555, to provide service agreements to each individual utility customer for the purposes of paying unexpected high water bills that result from leaks. We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay. I'm just looking to make sure the two sections were changed after Mr. Cash reviewed them. And I don't remember where they appeared.
With page 1, number 3.
Number 3 on page
Yeah. Yeah, that was approved. That was changed in number 9 on the next page. So, all right, those both were revised. We thank you for doing that. I don't remember your name, but Mr. Water Leaks Incorporated. Okay. Thank you for making those changes and being accommodating, and thank you, Matt, for going the extra mile on that. Does anybody have any questions about it or comments?
I had one. This covers, it looks like water and sewer if you have a leak. Is that correct?
So sewer will still be handled by WWTA, and their qualifying, or their leak qualifications will have to be met. So if it's something that where the water was truly used, then WWTA would handle that separately. If it's a leak like outside, like what, anything that's going out on the ground, not going into the sewer system, that's going to be.
So this wouldn't give relief usually on sewer?
Yes, in most cases, in a true hidden leak or a true water leak, yes, WWTA does authorize the adjustment, but they do handle that on their side. We help with it. But it does offer for a separate service, it does offer sewer line protection. So if you have sewer line damage, you could opt into that.
Okay. That's all I had.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? All right, that passes.
Can I make a motion to suspend the rest of this agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nope. All right, so that takes us to our work session for tonight. I think we've already done the call to order. Well, I guess we could do a call to order for the work session and a roll call maybe for the work session. Maybe do the roll call again.
Councilmember Elizabeth Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Vicki Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Andrew Gardner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Susanna Murdock.
Here.
Mayor Charles Foss.
Here. Okay, so we don't have any minutes to approve. We do have another opportunity to address council for citizens. I know that somebody new just came in, and if she would like to address, I don't want to put her on the spot. Does anybody want to address council? Any citizens want to address council? We don't have any resolutions or ordinances. We'll go straight to our discussions. The first discussion is the fire department breathing apparatus. Chief Mitchell, I don't know if you want to give us an idea of what's going on.
Thank you. So in this fiscal year's budget, there was money for replacement of our breathing air compressor, actually $70,000 budgeted for. I've done research with our vendors. There's only a few brands of breathing air compressors. There's one new one out there that I don't have a lot of history on, so I can't talk about the reliability of it. But anyway, the company that has been doing our service and who this breathing air compressor was purchased, that our current breathing air can purchase in 2004, we've had good luck with it. It was actually due for replacement a few years ago, and we deferred that. It's now to where we really need to replace it, and we were able to get one quoted that's on a cooperative bidding, just like we bought the tractor for cooperative bidding. The quote I had was $52,000 and some change, but they were going to update that. I thought I might have it tonight. They said there was a price increase since they quoted that for me, of course, but it won't be dramatic. It'll still fall within the budget, well under the budget we had done, but it's complete replacement, and I expect that to last 10 to 12 years again, maybe 15.
I don't really know what these are, other than the pictures that were provided in the pamphlet and stuff, but are we replacing, is this basically the same as what we were replacing, or is it
Yes.
different?
So the one we have now will, older air packs operated on 4,500 PSI of pressure. So our current compressor will go up to 5,000 PSI. Newer air packs operate at 5,000, so when we get ready to replace all of our air packs, they'll be at a higher pressure, so this compressor will operate up to 6,000 PSI. So that's the big difference. Same volume, same size, 4-bottle Cascade air storage system, 2-bottle fill system. So it's basically the same thing, it just operates at a higher pressure.
And Elaine, I just, my memory on it, was this something we had planned to use ARPA funds for, or is this just, I know we budgeted it, but
I think this was.
I don't recall.
No?
Okay.
Oh, that was the other.
Okay. Thank you.
So they didn't tell you what the new price is going to be.
No, he thought he would have it back to me today with another quote, but he said there will be an increase, but it's not going to be significant. But when you're talking 50,000, a percent, 3%, 5%, it adds up, but it's not going to be take your breath away dramatic. Another quote I got on another state contract was a company called Bauer. Theirs was about $75,000 for a similar machine. So,
Okay.
Do you think you can have that for the next meeting, the new quote?
oh, I'll definitely have it for the next meeting and have a resolution.
Is
with
it a
that
long
amount.
lead time on them, or?
6 to 9 months. That's the same as Loretta's tractor.
Yeah, everything's that way.
Everything's that way now. Turnout gear, I just ordered some turnout gear, and it's 6 to 9 months.
So if we get a new quote, will they honor those terms? Because it looks like this quote here, which you're saying is out of date, is well within the 30 days of expiration, which is printed.
Well,
It
when
is. So if we get a new quote, is it going to be good for 30 days?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. This one does say it expires in 30 days. Why are they
Right.
Why
not
they
honoring
aren't.
it?
They can't control their vendors' price increases.
But then they can't guarantee it.
This is
I
a
mean-
quote,
That's-
so they do have to honor what's on here.
I mean, I can
Not an
look at it when
estimate.
it comes in. It might not be, I know it's turnout gear. They had a price increase and they ate the difference for us. So, yeah, I can't say.
And I mean, this quote will be expired once we get to a resolution on this, so I get it, but I don't want to get a quote from the same company with a 30-day expiration, only to have them up it again in 15 days right before we read a resolution, or
Right.
after we read a
I mean,
I-
if we're talking about $10,000, I'd have a special meeting before
Yeah, I can't imagine.
August 27th.
That. So, if it's, I'll talk to the town manager when I get it and if it looks, but they didn't seem to think it was going to be too significant.
Well, I mean, do
It's
we,
probably, this one probably expires Wednesday, right? I don't know. how many-
it looks like Saturday. So that's why I'm wondering,
So,
do we
30
want to
days
do a
after the
resolution
27th?
prior to the expiration?
Because there's not 30
Of
days.
this
in-
quote.
Wait, how many days are in July? 30?
31, so
Today's the 26th.
it'd be the 26th, Friday.
So Friday.
Oh, right. Okay, today's the 22nd. Yeah, I think it would be important. I mean, if they're going to honor this up until the last day, and the quote's significantly different, we probably do need to consider whether we have a special call meeting to,
I mean, I'm good with this. It's the same thing. It's just a different quote, but to save money, I just wanted to bring it tonight so you
Can
can
you
discuss
use
it.
every penny, so if we can help by getting 3 of us together before Friday, then
I'm in favor.
Yeah.
yeah, so that would be good if we can get another quote before this one expires to see what, or at least an idea of what it's going to be, so we know whether we need to go ahead and move quickly on this thing.
And I would say if we don't get a quote by tomorrow, we call a special meeting. Because I think they do have to honor this, correct?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
It's their terms.
Absolutely.
So I think regardless of whether, and if we don't get a new quote by tomorrow, then I think that we need to call a special meeting and get a resolution on this.
I agree.
good eye, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
And I'll check. This company works with us well. I'll check and make sure, even though it says everything anybody quotes anymore is 30 days. Whether it's vehicles, apparatus, equipment, they won't go out past 30 days. And I'll see if, we're talking about, we have, our next meeting in September, if they would honor, and I'll find out.
Okay.
All right,
I'll
cool.
find out.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is Parks Data Survey.
So this is a
Parks Data Survey that UTC grad students have offered to do with our Parks Committee. And spoke to the Parks representative and the UTC person who is going to arrange to do the survey. I have a meeting with them next week to discuss the details of the data survey. That's graduate students needing to do their graduate research, and Parks Committee had brought up an idea of maybe doing one for our Parks and Recreation data.
That'd be great.
Great. Just wanted to bring that to the attention of council, but I have a meeting with them next week to discuss all the details of what this survey entails. And it's a free survey for us, since the graduate students are doing it for the graduate work.
Sounds good.
Any information like that would be good.
We'll be happy to be their guinea pig anytime.
Yep.
If they want to keep using us to do surveys.
My hope is we can test this out. You know, the Parks Board had mentioned, we had kind of tasked the Parks Board with kind of help us develop a plan for usage, optimal usage of our parks or efficient usage. And they kind of said, well, we don't really know what usage is. So one of the board members had a relationship with this professor and found this opportunity to have it done free of charge or providing a good service for the community, and some UTC students to have an opportunity to participate in this and help, but to give us a good set of data to really understand how we're using our parks.
Win-win.
Win-win, and then hopefully the survey guy here, maybe we can apply some things we learned here. And apparently this is something that maybe is kind of an annual need, and we could use it as a budgetary or a council-driven survey project every year in partnership with the university.
Oh, that's great.
And so the questions on the survey, is it something that the Parks Board is going to work with the graduate students and they're going to develop the questions? Yeah, okay, that's great.
Yeah, so the next Parks Board meeting, I believe we are going to at least start that process working with the professor and talk about, they're going to give their suggestions and bring them of what the approach they would like to see and how they would like questions asked. I think that it's, I haven't seen the presentation yet, but what I've heard is that it's kind of like some very kind of smart surveying that minimizes the time investment from the citizen by having kind of like, hey, do you use this park? And then, you know, if you say yes, it goes further down the road to find out more about how you use it or how often, those sorts of things, as opposed to just like some giant form that's kind of difficult to use. But I haven't seen that part of the presentation yet, so.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you.
It's exciting.
All right, next item on the agenda is the Citizens Advisory Council for the Recycling Center.
Yes, I'd like to just talk about possibly organizing a citizen advisory council for the recycle center. As we're looking at revitalizing the center and looking at ways possibly to even draw some revenue out of the recycle center to really make it a recycle, reuse, and reduce center instead of what we have right now. So working with Loretta and our engineering tech, trying to come up with some ways and some ideas operationally how we could revitalize that. And we're going to be meeting with Westbrook, our facility who hauls our recycles off of the mountain, and to discuss some ways ahead and how we could operationally revitalize our recycle center. But I also think there's another piece that possibly we could ask for some citizen engagement and think of some other ideas to possibly revitalize the recycle center with citizen education, awareness, some promotion, you know, possibly, these are just some brainstorming ideas, but I think, you know, asking some citizen council to help with that would be greatly needed.
Okay. So, all right, we're in the planning, early stages of that, but putting something together to talk about. Okay.
So how do you envision it? I guess, would it be a temporary committee or longer term? Are we looking to add a committee or?
In accordance with our board's code, the Citizen Advisory Committee is a subcommittee that could be formed for no more than 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need to go 2 years, we possibly have that, as we're bringing awareness of, the new recycling process, moving from a single stream into real sorted goods. And so clean sorted goods, we can, we're looking at what the market is and what we can sell it for.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a meeting with Red Bank in Hamilton County, and that's how their facility is set up. So they sell their product to the recycle center, and they make whatever market price is for that. So that's going to take some awareness and education as we try to move away from a single stream model to bring, to revitalize our recycling center.
I love this idea, and I know that I know of 2 citizens, one that's like an expert on the logistical side of this, and then another that's kind of an expert on setting up some of the processes and stuff. So I think that would be a really cool cooperative thing, getting citizen buy-in and input, and then helping kind of revitalize the recycle center, maybe make it into a profit, not a profit center, but at least break even or something like that, and could be good. Thank you.
That's kind of the thought, and, so.
Maybe more people would use it too.
Well, bring in some plants, some flowers, make it homey.
Smaller garbage cans might help encourage people to use it, frankly. I mean, you see cardboard boxes, spilling out of garbage cans all the time, and it's kind of a shame. We got this great recycle center over there that'll take them, and people just don't use it. So,
And I think, getting some citizen involvement with the advisory committee, specifically recycle, I think maybe we'll see some more awareness and maybe generate some excitement about it.
So do you think we, the council, should figure out the purpose and mission of this group, or do you think we should maybe put applications out, see what we get, and maybe the initial group of citizens who are appointed to this could bring forward their ideas of purpose and mission for their year-long work or 2-year-long work? Because
What do you think?
I kind of like the idea of letting citizens and I mean, like, it wouldn't be, whatever they say goes, but I mean, like, having 5 people who are passionate about recycling, figuring out what their committee can work on for a 2-year span, I think is going to be a lot more beneficial than all of us sitting up here. I know how passionate Charlie is about recycling, but I don't share that state. I recycle, yes, but I don't have the passion for it.
you don't dig out of garbage cans like my wife does.
No, and I mean, my first business was in recycling. The first company I started was a nylon recycling company. I'm absolutely, I do recycle, but I don't share that same passion that I know a lot of people do that could possibly have a better say in this.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I think that sounds like a really good suggestion.
So I think what we need to do to create this is to have a resolution to create it. There was a citizen advisory committee formed back, I think, in 2016, December of 2016, by resolution. If we kind of need like a blueprint of that resolution.
What year was that?
2016, I think.
Is that the Hemlock?
No.
Oh. We have that one going now.
At the school.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so again, I just think like, I think the way to go is to just really listen to those who are passionate, that want to be engaged in this topic, to kind of set forth the work of this.
All right. All right, the next item is the TPO Contacts. We have two resolutions that were in place, I guess, to appoint me as the designated representative and Boyd Veal as the proxy for the town.
And so I was the one that had asked to table this initially.
Right, I think you wanted to look into some
Yeah.
issues maybe about it, I don't remember.
Yeah, just, because I had thought that there was a resolution that I had been appointed, but there wasn't. There was the direction for a resolution to appoint me, but that never happened. That was back in September of 2021.
All right.
Regardless, I mean, I would be happy to remain on it or to be a proxy if Elaine is the main person for the TPO. There's a meeting Wednesday. But
I'll be at the PE Partners Symposium.
yes.
Would
So
you be able to attend?
Well, absolutely, and I think like that's why it's really important to have a main person and a proxy.
Right.
It is a time-consuming thing, and it's very overwhelming at first attending these, but learning more has been good. So I will defer to your decision on this.
Well, I think we did talk about putting you on there. If we need to do it by resolution, then we need to do a resolution to appoint you as the representative and Elaine as the proxy, since we don't even have her on as anything, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that, I mean, I think a resolution can be to replace rather than to rescind these resolutions and start all over again. Can we just do a resolution to replace me and put, okay, so let's do that at our next meeting. We'll have those two resolutions.
Look over to the minute. Getting the emails.
Yeah, I get them too.
We just need to make sure that we do this by resolution.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think once we have those resolutions, we can give them to the organization, and then they can kind of clean up the email list, because I believe Mr. Veal's still on there, so.
All right, well, moving right along, we have section E, IT position/services.
And so for the IT specialist, based on, budget, and I put in the header what we budgeted for and what total wages and plus benefits look like for the IT position, and it was budgeted as IT contract, contact admin, and then what we've also budgeted for local government and what we've paid thus far. So the IT specialist position would fall under administration. As far as the organizational structure goes, but looking at a hybrid IT full-time person here on staff, still with a supported IT service as we make the transition. So I've interviewed one technology company, one IT service company, and that was Wire Technology, and they have not come back with a bid yet. I've reached out to Tyler Technology, and I've not got anything coordinated with them yet. There was one other one I was just researching, so that way we can get 3 3 bids for, you know, the IT support services. And then holistically looking, you know, at a 5-year plan, morphing away from that support services and then growing our small IT department to take over. I did do some research with some of the other municipalities and what they've been doing, and some have had just a sole IT person and had to switch to a backup of an IT service provider because they just had the one person. And we don't want to leave all of our, and leave everything in just one position. We need to try to grow that eventually, possibly having, you know, a backup IT person on staff, but that's years down the road. But as we're making this transition, having an IT person here alongside having that IT support service. But I didn't get those other quotes back yet with the IT service to really look at this holistically. But I have interviewed 3 IT people, and they were all very strong candidates, but one rose to the top that I think meets all of our needs. But before I offer a position, I wanted to talk with council about this position. And just bring up how to move forward with this.
So it's an either or kind of right now, so we can either hire this person or get the services of a company. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Or would it be both?
The way it's set up with local government right now, we paid for a year, but if we make a transition to another company, they will refund what we have not used for the year. And so the IT services company are, you know, they're working within the budget of what the IT position was advertised for. So they're going to try to work within that budget. So I think if we start with the IT professional on staff, that gets that started, and then we can start reining in all of our IT that we have in many different areas right now. And
The money that's allocated in very different areas
yes,
that we're spending on, so that we wouldn't have to be spending it on those things because we would have a person in-house who would sort of resume control.
yes, gotcha. Yes, and working on gathering up all that data, how much we're spending on all these various IT services, that if, you know, we have this IT person on staff, we'll be able to, you know, even save some more money.
That's great.
Streamline.
So the company you're talking about, are you talking about like using an IT person on staff along with the company to do all this until that person can get up to speed and take over and drop the company?
And so if we have got the IT person, you know, we have that one person working with a services company, essentially, who would be doing most of our main server type stuff until we can get the actual build here and we get an IT person on staff to start moving that way. And then we could divest out of that IT service company so we have a backup as we're making the transition. And so once we make that transition, then we should be able to get to another point where we can bring on another IT professional so we can have a backup.
That makes sense.
And then we would be completely out of the IT service company. So gradually making the switch to being an independent IT department here. So we would be saving the money with the IT services. We can bring then on another IT person here on staff.
So initially, we advertise this position, ideally fill it, and then we're going to bring in more in a supportive rather than full role the service company, or?
Yes.
Okay.
In a supportive role.
Yeah.
Essentially, our backup IT support, if in the event like the IT person is
Vacation
is
or?
vacation
Yeah.
or out, or you know, they get sick, what have you, we have that backup IT service support. So we don't go completely, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? We've just stopped business. So that's what the place that I don't want us to get to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to make this transition. And the person who rose to the top of the interviews has done ground up network building.
That's great.
The top two candidates actually, and the number one candidate he had done it several times in his career. It's great.
Okay.
When do you anticipate being able to hire someone?
Well, I would like to make an offer this week, if I could. If this plan is acceptable, but
So you're looking for consensus tonight?
yes.
If you, okay. I'll say I support this plan.
I do. Okay.
Yeah. Do we have to have a resolution on the position description?
In the past, we haven't.
Yeah.
But we probably need to have something like that, I think.
I think we do. The thing, I would hesitate to wait on hiring this position for 2 more weeks because we
Yeah.
have to pass a resolution. But if we're meeting for the fire thing, the special meeting for the air compressor breathing, forgot the name of it.
Breathing apparatus.
Yes, then we could do it there, and then she wouldn't have to wait. But, I mean, I don't know, can she hire, if we need to pass a resolution to create a position, so we all know that that position's created, does she have to wait to hire that out until the resolution?
There's not a position right now. This is a new position.
New position? Or could she act with consensus of council?
Because it's budgeted, so.
I think she can hire without a resolution.
Okay. I mean, it is budgeted.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she can hire.
I think if it wasn't budgeted, then I would want to have a resolution.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
since,
we need to be, then
right.
we need to amend the budget.
Yeah.
right, but now, but where we're at now, I think consensus. And I think we're all 100%.
And then get the resolution on the next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see some type of clear process of creating positions or eliminating positions when need be, so that when council changes or when administration changes or people change, there's a set way of doing things so that citizens have that openness, that transparentness, and accountability. So, all right.
Okay. So I think you have the consensus to move forward, and we'll hopefully have this IT position in a resolution in the near future. Okay. And I guess we've talked about an HR person too. I don't know how far along we are with that, but we might want to start with the resolution of a position if we haven't gotten too far along into that process.
I've gotten to the process where I've written the job description, put the classification with the pay grade, pay scale, 2 of which we did look at. And then there's some other organizational structure that I'm working at to present to council for the overall flow of the admin office, admin finance. I think looking at some of the organizational structure there and how the HR professional will fit into that structure. So I'd like to, I got most of it done, the bulk of it done, but I just want to be able to bring that to you as council holistically so you can see how it all fits in there and before going out and advertising the job, and then we'll get it on resolution. So I'm pretty close. I'm hoping within the next month we'll get it to you.
Excellent. All right, thank you. I'm trying to. Okay, next item on the agenda is the audiovisual proposals for council chambers. well, 3 proposals.
Yes.
One of them came in today, I take it.
Yes, the one from Continental Film Productions. We did have one that was several months old, so I went back and asked if we could get an updated quote. And he was out here today just finalizing the details. So this is the updated quote provided from Continental. So the video and the microphones was really the bulk of this quote here. And the acoustic treatment he just added in there as an option for us, if we wanted to add the acoustic treatment. And mood media is the most current one. Just received, and we just went through another video call with them on the quote, so we could talk through the details. And they also offered at any time if they needed to present to council specifically, that they're available to do that. So in the mood media quote, they're recommending that we take the analog amplifier and change that to digital. Because when the information is being received through the analog, it can't process out any reverb or any echo or any paper shuffling, because it's not designed that way. But if we go digital, this digital processor will be able to echo cancel and feedback cancel. So when it receives back in, it's only pushing out the pure sound. So, and they also believe that our microphones are turned down just a little on the sensitivity because of the echo, and the analog processor can't process it out. So we might be able to, if we do something like that, turn up the sensitivity on the microphones to give a little bit better quality of sound. And then they would add a motional camera over here, one with a remote control that you could change the angle. And so if we want to, position it there because that's where you can see the podium and council, but if we do need to move the camera, that is an option with a remote control to go with it. And then they would use our existing equipment, our rack, and our speakers, and whatever else they were able to use. They didn't upsell us and saying, oh, we got to come in here and just redo everything.
So I do notice 2 Audix ATS-10 bases,
Yes.
which are these things.
Yes.
Is that because we need additional ones?
We need one here and one here.
Oh, but yeah, okay. Fair enough.
And so, and also in Continental, you notice in theirs, they also, he's quoted us for one gooseneck mic.
It's got 2, but different sizes.
Different sizes, and then 2 of the table stands.
So I guess the question I have, and I don't know if we need to bring 1 or 2 of these in to present, is to the extent possible, that how easily push button the solution is, from just recording audio to recording video to streaming video or whatever it's able to do. How easy is that going to be for any board or committee, your average board or committee member, to come in and kind of couple clicks or something, maybe a set of instructions, get it turned on and working.
Right, so I know with both Continental and Mood Media, we would just tie in USB to a laptop over in this general vicinity over here. And I do have a laptop that we wouldn't have to buy. So neither one of them have quoted that, just because we do have existing equipment that we would just tie all of that into the audio, the video, and then we would just essentially stream to whatever service we're streaming to, live streaming. We have used YouTube in the past, but we could stream with live stream with any service.
Well, that's the goal, is to be able to live stream.
So would that require, I guess, do you envision that as something that any of these scenarios that a average board member could do, or is it something that needs staff time?
I feel that in both these cases here, it would, I think anybody would be able to walk up with a minimal set of instructions and be able to just
Okay.
press the button and record. And, you know, we do have capability that we can audio record separately, or we can audio and video record, and then also we can live stream and record. So those are some of the requirements that I set forth for these quotes, is that if for some reason our video doesn't work, we can still audio record, and we can still live stream and record audio and video.
It looks like this one from Galt includes a computer, I guess. Is that what an iMac is?
Yes.
Do you know if all of them are proposing a switch from analog to digital for the processor?
I think it's
I
just the
feel
Mood
like I'm
Media
reading,
one.
I think it's just
Finish.
media.
Just media, okay.
So on this Continental bid here, it's kind of a menu. I mean, he didn't have like a grant, you know, he can total all of he's got it broken down, like acoustic treatment, video, microphones, and then extra options. And so the total on this bid, if we were to do everything, would you just add all these menu items up and you come up with a total, and that kind of gives you a general idea of what this investment would be if we go with them. So on this one, you're looking at like $17,726.
For Continental?
Yes,
And that's for all the.
that's for everything.
That's for everything.
Everything on the menu. But like some of these things he said are optional, obviously, like the acoustic panels, which would add several thousand.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would add
10.
like 10.
Yeah,
grand.
it's expensive.
Yeah, so
I guess it's like Continental addresses the reverb and
with panels.
with acoustic treatments, which I'm not an expert on what works better, and the other one's digital,
Yes.
doing it with
Which might,
processors and
I
software.
think maybe upgrading the software or the hardware might be a more modern, future forward investment of dollars maybe than panels.
I think it would.
But I guess
But I'd
the
be
other question is, are there things about this room that are
Well, the shape of the room.
unfixable without, some kind of treatment?
I mean, it seems like if we're speaking into a microphone that's right here, we don't really have to worry that much about the.
I think the acoustic
reverb.
panels are more for live, for people that are here to be able to hear. You know, not just for recording purposes. I know sometimes it can sound muddy. I can hear it. I can hear my voice echo just just in the room. So that's really what would the acoustic panel, the acoustic tiles would help.
Right,
Is to
okay.
reduce that. It would make the sound less, less reverb. It would give it a little, it would mute it a little bit so that it wouldn't be echoing. As far as recording, the panels may or may not impact it. It just depends on how it is all put together.
Okay.
So maybe we should invite them to come and do a presentation to us.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, I'm not an audiovisual expert by any means, so
Me
I
neither.
probably could use an education before I really
Yeah.
try to.
Can we
And
do
I don't want to get
that?
down too far down in the weeds on it, but it is an investment for the future.
Yeah.
Can we do that process-wise before receiving bids?
We have bids.
Or yeah,
Yeah, but is that a problem? Because we already have bids.
because we are. Yeah, sorry, because we already have bids.
I think you probably better get bids first.
We've got
Okay.
bids,
So,
yeah.
So we-
Well, so this is an estimate, and then
Yeah.
which is different, and
Yeah.
then this doesn't really say if it's a bid or an estimate. It's not clear.
Yeah.
I'd say this is probably a bid, the Mood Media one. Don't see that language.
so I wonder if.
It does have the ability to commit to the pricing, so I would assume that's kind of a bid.
So should we ask these two to give us official bids?
Yeah, it's a
and-
quote.
And then from there, do we want to narrow it down to two, or do we want to invite all three to come? Wouldn't we have to have all three?
I think you need to give them all the same opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can say no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if they say no.
So do we want to see if they can come to our next meeting?
Sure.
I mean, I'd
Yeah.
hate to go a whole month
Yeah.
waiting on this.
Is just logistically, I'm noticing the address here for Mood Media. Will that need to be like virtual?
I'll have to reach out to the person that I have been coordinating with on this. But he said that they do have local people that would be able to support us. So I could just reach out to him and see if we could do something in person or if it has to be virtual.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I know with Continental, he would be able to be here in person because he is local. And then I'll reach out to Galt and Associates, but they're independent, so
They're local.
they're local.
And with them, you might want to ask for an itemized estimate.
From Mood?
No.
From Galt.
From Galt.
Okay.
I mean, I have, again, and I think I've mentioned this before, I have a really hard time looking at that estimate because it's one bottom line number
Right.
and nothing's broken down. And when we're looking at the other ones, it's broken down by equipment and services.
Okay, so we need to get bids from two of them and then invite them to come and present?
I think you need to go ahead and, I think you need to invite all three.
Okay. Invite all three to present at our next regular or next working.
I would like to say regular because I don't want to wait.
You want to
Yeah, if they
wait.
can do it, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it might make our regular meeting next month a little bit longer.
That's okay.
So I'll reach out to them and invite them to attend the next regular meeting. Okay.
It's 3 weeks. Yeah. So we got the,
September 12th.
it's that rare 3 week.
So now we're looking at webpage.
Okay, so the next item is website proposals. We have two.
here are the two, we had demoed, and I had the department heads available for the demo. Excuse me. And these two here really meet our needs, especially the citizen engagement piece. Revise was the top one that really hit the citizen engagement piece the best.
I noticed that this Proud City had a menu of add-ons, and I wasn't sure if Revise included them. I kind of got lost in Revise, both of them really, as to what I was looking at and how to compare them. But I was hoping you knew if some of these things that you pay extra for Proud City are already included in the Revise plan. Or if we even need the things that you paid extra for in the Proud City plan. I mean, like notifications, Search Plus docs, Search Plus, meetings alone, meetings, those are all subsites, those are all extras.
Right, and so those are all added features that we can add later if we decide that's something that we want or we need. Or even during the onboarding process, as we're personalizing what our web page looks like, we discovered, well, we really need to have this meeting notification addition to our website. It would just make it that much easier. Then we would, that would be another $200 a month.
Right. I mean, when I looked at it, Proud City is $1,800 a year after the year one set up everything, and then Revise is $3,400 a year. So that's a huge difference. But if we need some of these things that you have to pay extra for, that's already included in Revise, then it might lessen the difference between these. And I just didn't know if some of these things, were necessary or that we would probably need, that we would end up having to pay extra for, that would push us closer to or even past Revise. I don't know if you've been able to kind of figure that out so far or not.
I think that maybe earlier on in the vote, the 68 vote.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know, it was a lot to go through.
Wow.
Which is probably why I didn't really figure it all out.
They were very thorough
Yeah.
in coding us. They were
When I was looking through it, my impression was that there is some of these pieces are included in Revise.
Right.
That, like
Yeah.
the Search Plus and Search Plus docs seems to be
Yeah. I couldn't
part
get
of
a
what
sense for
Revise
how,
does.
I couldn't get a sense for how necessary that was. Like,
Yeah.
it might be that Proud City has given us the basic plan, but that everybody needs more than the basic plan, so you end up adding $1,200 worth of add-ons, and so it's really a $3,000 quote per year rather than $1,800. But it looks nice to start off because it's only $1,800, and you're thinking this is great. That's what I was trying to get a sense of, whether some of these things are things that we're going to want to have that are going to end up costing us, so it's going to end up costing us more than $1,800 a month. Or maybe not. I just don't know. I don't really know what Search Plus, Plus Docs means, or Search Plus.
Yeah. I guess what I would ask is, as you look at them, a few things to think about. One is, we're talking about in the long run, even if it's $1,200, we're talking about a couple $1,000s a year difference. Unless I'm reading this wrong, yeah. And so, who is maybe a better track record of maintaining good websites in the long run that continue to be user friendly and have features that citizens might like to click on and not get stagnant. Are you?
If you ask opinions or you're hoping to.
Yes, that's
So you guys,
yeah,
the department heads all
yeah.
sat in on the.
Please, yeah.
This guy, Revise was just head and shoulders.
That's what I'm
Look at all these
kind of
lines.
getting at.
For the small, scale of this, and I wish, and I really do hope that y'all can see what their websites look like and what they provided and why we're also excited about that possibility, because that's the one that I think consensus just absolutely loved, and that's just coming from lowly water director.
Well, but
Everybody shaking their head though.
Yeah.
the other piece is what's going to be a better tool for you and the directors to get information out to citizens, easily posting and. Okay, exactly.
Well, it's just a more holistic approach too. Instead of like this piecemeal kind of granular approach to it, you're gonna just sort of get this, like
Get
all of these features and benefits included in the investment. And to me, for ease of use and convenience and timeliness and all of those things, I can understand where you're coming from. I've sat in, I haven't done this for a long time, but when I was in my previous world in marketing, I just can tell from this one why you all would think that's a better recommendation.
I've seen a lot of IT or software related proposals, and your marketing point is, I think, on point, that I can look at the two documents and tell which one's keeping their technology up better.
Yeah.
So
So there you go.
And then their website, the website will be user-friendly from your cell phone. And we've all gone to some other customers, some other municipalities who have used their service, who are on their service right now, and from our phones, and it condenses down to a phone version, so where it's not all over the place, and it wiggles around, and you can track it. We'll eventually have online bill pay for water and property taxes, and
That's awesome.
Parks and Rec will be able to book some stuff on there, and Revise really was, the site had everything, the company had everything that we're looking for, and I take the reaction from the department heads.
So if I can just ask, and I thought I saw it on one of these pages, but it's not jumping out at me. What is the size of a document library we can keep online with Revise?
That I don't know off the top of my head.
Did you talk to people who used both plans?
Yes.
And, I mean, what was the reaction of the other guys, the Proud City?
So Proud City has had great reviews as well from people who are currently using them. So reaching out to both of them, but Revise seems like they had a lot better feedback. As far as just not only the citizen engagement piece where it was easier for them to use, but also for staff ease of use. Because now is management for the department's site within the context of the website, our main website. Department heads can update citizens faster. With posting, say for example, we're going to have road closures, this time and this time, and we can just post it on the website, just like that.
yeah.
So will each department have like their own sub-site to manage and maintain so
Yes.
that it's not, okay, very good.
I've noticed that they had Athens as one of I've seen Athens' website, it's pretty good. And Mitch Moore came from Athens. I don't know if he was there when they implemented it or not. He was there for 17 years, so we might.
He may have some unsolicited feedback.
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
might
You
be
could
good.
reach out to him and just see if he was involved in that process and what he thought of that.
I see Fayetteville's on there as well, which is one of our former applicants for interim that I think I sent you some information for. So And then the other thing I would note about it, as far as keeping it fresh from the citizens' perspective, is that, and it was unclear to me whether something like this was included in the Proud City, was that Revise on your 4th year is going to redesign your website and kind of refresh it, and that's part of the price.
I did like that.
I think that's important, because there's some new scrolly thing that everybody kind of expects to see on a, you don't think about it, but then you look at the site that doesn't have it and you're like, well, what am I in, year 2000 again? And that's kind of how we've gotten where we are. Our website was good back at the time. So I think that's kind of important.
1995.
Yeah.
Back in the late 1900s.
Every time I open up our website, I expect to hear like that horrible dial-up sound.
You've got mail.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I've seen other municipalities and have worked with a couple of organizations who use Revise, and I think that it's a fantastic thing. I just want to make sure that we can maintain a solid, very educational and open document library on our website so that we can reduce the amount of open record requests. Because that will help staff, but that will also
Increase
help our
transparency.
citizens. Well, not just increase, I mean, it's going to increase civic engagement if people don't have to feel like they need to fight for information.
Yeah.
I think that that's a fantastic plan. So that's my only concern, is to make sure that, and you don't have to scroll through 9,042 things to get to everything that you want.
I think that's part of the search feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, so where you run, you just, in the search feature, and you just type in what you're looking for and go to the document.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
But I'll look up what the score size is.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It just makes me excited to even talk about this. Think about all we're talking about. It's going to be so exciting to see all this come to fruition.
One of the top 2 most common complaints, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Website.
nice to be able to tackle this, so thank you for making it happen after a long wait. Any other comments or questions about this? Okay. We are to the manager's report.
I think that was all my managers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wasn't sure if there was anything left to cover. And you sent us the email on Friday, which
Yes.
I appreciate. I think that's a great idea, to just provide us with some sort of weekly update of what's
Yes.
going on. It gives us, that's great for us to know, keep informed. So we appreciate that, or I do. I'm sure
Yes.
everybody does.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else, as we're, developing this process and smoothing it out, if there's anything else that I should add, or, if you're like, well, that's great, things, but maybe not so much, just please, feedback is appreciated, so that we make this process better.
Okay. And us too, if you have things you'd like to see more from us or different from us, I think that feedback goes both ways. So I would, I appreciate constructive criticism as well. You've got it. Okay, so other business, communications and reports from the mayor and council, reports from committees or boards. Heard a little bit from Parks and Rec already. Anyone else? Okay, do we have other business? All right, if not, tentative agenda is attached. Its next meeting is September 12th. We are adjourned.